Today we'll begin with Atma Darshan, chapter 6. Jiva Sakshi, witness of the Jiva. In other words, the higher witness. We've covered the higher witness in a little bit in Atmanirvriti, but on the path of Atma Darshan, it is more of an experiential seeing. It happens only after the deep sleep is transformed into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Yeah, that is the real seeing. So, if Nirvikalpa Samadhi has really started happening to you, and you not only have recognized that the deep sleep has been transformed to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, you have also recognized that open-eyed daily routine has a oneness, a non-duality to it. That open-eyed oneness itself is open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi. If these two have happened, even if you've got a few glimpses here and there, it's not necessary that it'll happen every night and all day, but most of the times, predominantly, it will be there. Yeah. So if you have started recognizing it, that it is predominantly Nirvikalpa Samadhi in deep sleep as well as in open-eyed, then you are eligible to move ahead with Atma Darshan chapter 6. Yeah, because now you will actually see what is the higher witness. So today, please judge yourself. Whatever Atmananda teaches in this chapter, can I really see it? If I'm not able to see it, it is proof that my Nirvikalpa Samadhi has not matured. Clear? It is a test, a self-evaluation that you will have to do for yourself. Ekta will not tell you. You have to evaluate yourself. So, sit back, relax. Let's start with Atma Darshan, chapter 6. Jiva Sakshi, witness of the Jiva. As Nirvikalpa Samadhi matures, both in closed-eyed and open-eyed, the first thing you start recognizing is that deep sleep does not exist. So ask yourself that question, do I see this? That there is nothing like deep sleep. In fact, there is nothing like waking and nothing like dreaming. There are no three separate states. What is waking and dreaming? It is simply consciousness plus perception, consciousness plus sensation, consciousness plus thought, or consciousness plus feeling. This is waking or dreaming. And deep sleep is consciousness minus perception, sensation, thought, and feeling. That's it. I, the consciousness, am continuously there. So it doesn't matter if some perception is there or not there, sensation is there or not there. There is really no division of three separate states. Who divided them and made three states? Oh, it was only when I was limited to the waker, in the waking state, when I had identified with this body-mind person and thought, this is I. That waker thought that it was awake for 14, 16 hours, and after that it slept on the bed and it started dreaming, which meant that there was a waker's body lying on the bed. The waker's mind had a dream body and a dream mind. No, this was all wrong. This was all an assumption. Now I see it clearly. I, the consciousness, am constantly there. Constantly. All there is right now is perception of a room where there is a table, a computer, Ekta on that computer screen, and the sound of words. When there is the perception of sight, there is no perception of sound. When there is the perception of sound, there is no perception of sight. When there is the sensation of hunger in the stomach, there is no perception of sight or sound. When there is some sensation of pain in the body, there is no other perception. Oh, it's only one arising at a time, one arising at a time. Consciousness plus that arising, that is all that is there. There is no proof of a complete waking state. I am continuous. Similarly, while sitting here in a session, there is sudden disappearance of the body, sudden disappearance of the session, sudden disappearance of Ekta. There's just an imagination, a childhood imagination going on. Dream state has started right here. It is just consciousness plus the perception of that sight or sound, whatever your childhood memory is. You're gone for 5 minutes. The session has disappeared. Oh, that is consciousness plus perception, or consciousness plus maybe you have some feeling of childhood. So consciousness plus feeling, or maybe some you have a thought, a repetitive thought from childhood. Consciousness plus thought. That's all there is. And in fact, there is no duality between the consciousness and the perception. The consciousness and the perception are two sides of the same single wave. There is no duality there. It is non-dual. Non-dual. And what is the deep sleep state? Consciousness minus all these perception, sensation, thought, and feeling. It is simply the gap between two dream states, or the gap between two perceptions, or the gap between two thoughts, or the gap between two feelings. Aha! That is reality. There is nothing like deep sleep state. Doesn't exist. There's nothing like dream state. Doesn't exist. There's nothing like waking. Doesn't exist. The I that is there, remember, that is also conditioned. That I that is on this side of the wave, that is a part of this side of the wave, and there is a perception, sensation, thought, or feeling on the other side. This I is conditioned by this. In the waking, the I is conditioned by it in the dream. In the deep sleep, this perception, sensation, thought, or feeling is not there. This I used to assume that because perception, sensation, thought, or feeling are not there, I am also absent. Yes? So this I was conditioned. It was comparing the nothingness of deep sleep to the somethingness of waking and dreaming. Somethingness was perception, sensation, thought, and feeling. So far clear? So this I was also very conditioned because it was only thinking from the waking angle, the waker perspective. Now, in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, I see the non-duality. And I recognize sometimes this conditioned I comes up. It dissolves. It comes up. It dissolves. Can I dive deeper and see that there is a state where the I completely dissolves and there is a oneness, a totality, a non-duality, which is completely unconditioned? Can I recognize that totality? Can I recognize that transition of deep sleep into Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Can I recognize that transformation of deep sleep into Nirvikalpa Samadhi? This should be your self-evaluation question. And second part of this, Can I recognize the transformation of waking and dreaming states into Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Clear? The two questions are clear. Number one question, can I recognize the transformation of the deep sleep state into Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Number two, can I recognize the transformation of the waking and dreaming also into open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Remember, we are using open-eyed just to distinguish from the deep sleep transformation. Consciousness does not need eyes to see. Yeah? It is just used so as to help you distinguish between the two. Clear? Can I recognize that oneness? Yeah, where that feeling of, is it real or is this a dream? That becomes continuous, moment to moment to moment to moment. I'm holding on to that awe, moment to moment to moment to moment. In fact, the awe of Nirvikalpa Samadhi is holding on. It is sustaining. Is this real or is this a dream? When do you feel that? When you feel that you are not a waker. You're not limited to this waking body. You feel as if everything is simply happening automatically. There is no doer. There is no experiencer. Yeah? That is the unconditioned I. That is the real I. Yeah, so you have to really attempt to see. The real seeing happens here in Atma Darshan. That is why it is Atma Darshan. Darshan is seeing. Yeah? So this is where I see. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the I without the I. Means this oneness, this non-duality, this totality in which there is no conditioned I coming up. Yeah? The I without the I. The consciousness remains without assuming to be a subject that is focusing on an object. That assumption is not there. Subject, object are absent. That is your first clue that you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, open-eyed. The I without the I. No subject, no object. Yeah? The totality is there. Just the totality. Yes. It's as if you're standing in front of the mirror, but there is no reflection in the mirror. No conditioned I. So ask yourself the question, could I be that unconditioned being? That unconditioned, non-dual totality has a special quality. Yeah? That special quality is there are no desires there. There is no craving. There is no aversion. Desirelessness is its main guna, main quality. That unconditioned, non-dual totality, because it is desireless. Desire means I want or I don't want. So because it is desireless, there is no up wave, no down wave. Yeah. So there are no impressions. It's always a straight line. You can sense that straight line. If right now you are in open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi, everything is like a totality, a single totality, non-dual, and there is no conditioned I coming up at all. You will recognize this quality of desirelessness right here, right now. Do you see it? There is no up wave of craving, no down wave of aversion. It's a straight line. Do you see this? And when there's a straight line, there is no feeling, no ripple. Yeah, feelings are strong ripples that shake you, and sometimes it's not a ripple, sometimes it's a tsunami. Yeah, so you know the difference between desire and the straight line of desirelessness. Okay? So this is your second clue. When you recognize the straight line of desirelessness, yes, I am in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. First, there is no conditioned I. Second, there is a straight line of desirelessness. Yeah? When there is the conditioned I is missing, remember, detail means there is no subject and object duality. I told you what is the meaning of conditioned I is not there. When there is desirelessness means there is the straight line, where there is no feeling, no ripple, no wave, no bubble, no tsunami or rogue wave either. Yeah, simply a straight line. Very clear? No conditioned I, desirelessness. And the third clue that I will have, that I am that deconditioned non-dual totality of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, is I am beyond happiness and unhappiness. In that totality, there is no happiness, there is no unhappiness. Simply because there is no desire. Do you see this? Yeah. The I want is a very strong force. It creates a craving. That craving creates its opposite force of, oh, I don't want this to not happen. I want this to happen and I don't want this to not happen. Both craving and aversion come up. Yes, those forces are so strong that they create fear, anxiety, passion, name it. All kinds of feelings come up just by these two opposites of craving and aversion. That is why there is happiness and unhappiness. Yeah. Now, the entire craving or aversion has collapsed when there is the non-dual totality. So somehow you are thrown beyond the realm of even experiencing any happiness or unhappiness. It's like you're beyond the glass wall and you've recognized that I am untouchable. I cannot be touched by anything there. And you've accepted it. And that is the definition of total bliss, ananda, going beyond happiness and unhappiness. So remember, not just unhappiness is not touching me, even happiness is not touching me. This is very important, because people think, okay, suffering, unhappiness, misery, that will not touch me, that is good. But even happiness will not touch you. Yeah? These are the three clues that I am experiencing open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Breaking it down, the deconditioned non-dual totality is what I am seeing right now. I am that right now. Yes, and I transcend all objectivity, all objectivity. Yeah, so if you practice this week, you would have realized whatever I have just described. Do I recognize that I am that unconditioned piece of non-dual totality? Ask yourself. The waking and dreaming is nothing but conditioning. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the deep, dreamless sleep, devoid the ignorance of the I, That is Sat itself. That is the unconditioned being. Sat, existence itself. Waking and dream have thoughts. These thoughts are what represent duality. And why does duality come up? Because there was storage of impressions at the waking and at the dream. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the knowingness of all this, devoid of the collection of impressions. I'm not collecting those impressions anymore. Hence, I am totally non-dual. Do you see the difference? Initially, when I thought I'm the waker or I'm the dreamer, I kept collecting impressions. I held on to impressions because I felt I am this body-mind person, this waker. Yes, or as the dream body, I felt I am that dream character in the dream world, and I held on to all the dream impressions. The storage of impressions itself is duality. The moment I start recognizing open-eyed nirvikalpa samadhi, there is a knowingness of everything. All perception, sensation, thought, feeling are known. There is a knowingness of everything, devoid of the collection of impressions. I am not collecting any impressions now. Hence, there is this oneness, this totality which is non-dual. There is no two, no subject, no object. There is this awe, this wonder. Is this real or is this an illusion? That oneness, that totality. There is knowingness devoid of impressions. Impressions in Sanskrit, vasanas. Hence, it is non-dual. Very clear? Yeah, so you keep evaluating yourself. Do I see this really? If Nirvikalpa Samadhi is your truth, now you will recognize what Atmananda says in the first verse. Verse 6.1. So remember, only that which has been perceived before can come up in memory. Can you have the memory of something you've never perceived? Not possible. What is the definition of memory? It's nothing but a repetitive thought. That's it. Yeah? Perception is also a thought, feeling is also a thought, sensation is also a thought, and a verbal thought is also a thought. Yeah? A repetitive perception, sensation, thought, or feeling is memory. There is nothing else. Yeah? Repetitive means what? The word itself means that you have perceived it before. Only that which has been perceived before can come up in memory. Now, the I thought also comes up in memory. Yeah, for example, oh, I had so much fun with my school friends. Yeah, those carefree days. Yeah, just going out and playing in the woods and running here, running there, totally carefree. Do you have a memory? Maybe you have a perception. Maybe you have a feeling also of being carefree. Yeah, do you remember the little you? Yeah, maybe you have a perception of sight and you see the little you. There is an I in that memory with friends. Do you recognize the I? I'm having fun with friends, with my school friends. Okay? That is the embodied I. The embodied I who perceived, did, or enjoyed anything also comes up in memory at times. So, right now, that embodied I is there in your memory. Yes? Who is familiar with that I? Who knows that I? Who witnessed that I at the time of enjoyment? Do you see it? Obviously, it was witnessed by another I principle at the time that the enjoyment, the fun, the action, whatever perception was going on. Clear? Yeah, the verse is very clear. Now tell me, whose memory is it? Whose memory is it? Again, bring up the memory of childhood right now. Remember the fun as a young kid. Bring up that feeling of carefree attitude, stress-free mind, happy-go-lucky, fun kid. Whose memory is it? Are you here or are you there in the memory? Where are you? In the childhood I that is playing with the friends, or are you here? Where are you? Whose memory is it? If it is that embodied I's memory, then who is it right now that is knowing the memory? The memory also has to belong to that which is beyond, no? Very clear? That which is beyond knew when the enjoyment happened. That which is beyond is knowing the memory of that childhood event right now. Yeah? It was the embodied I that was witnessed by another I principle at the time of its perception, action, or enjoyment. Now take this a little further with regard to your Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. Out of the nothingness of deep sleep, the so-called deep sleep that I used to call deep sleep earlier, from that nothingness, the I thought arises. And then there is the beginning of the dream. And there is a dream world and whatever happens. When the I arises out of the nothingness of the deep sleep, it is known by whom? Who knows? Who knows that the I thought arose? Similarly, in the reverse, when I'm going from waking to dreaming and from dreaming to deep sleep, the last thing to collapse is the I thought. Who knows that the I thought collapsed into nothingness? Who knows the I thought arising from nothingness? Who knows the I thought collapsing into nothingness? Who knows? This is a question that you must ask yourself. Ask yourself this question right before the body lies down in the night for Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. Who knows? And just go, let the waking move into dreaming and the dreaming into deep sleep with that one question, who knows? Yeah? And let your sadhana reveal it to you. if the deep sleep has really transformed to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, then there will be a clear seeing of the I thought, the embodied thought. It will arise out of the nothingness of deep sleep. It disappears back into deep sleep after the dream is over. Again, at the beginning of the dream, it will arise out of the nothingness. Again, when the dream is over, it dissolves back into the nothingness. And you, the unconditioned being, will see this. So we have to take this as tonight's Swapna Nidra Nyan Sadhana assignment. Now I have to start recognizing this I thought that arises is the conditioned I, and that which is knowing is the unconditioned being. That is who I am. And that unconditioned being that knows the conditioning, that unconditioned being is beyond, it lies beyond. It does not say I. That is the totality. That is the totality. For example, I know this glass of water. That means I, the knower, am separate from the object that is known. Yeah. The I principle that lies beyond the I thought or the embodied thought witnessed it arising out of the deep sleep, and then witnessed it enjoying the pleasures of the dream world, and then witnessed its dream action, dream thought, witnessed it also dissolve at the end of the dream. And there is a big gap between two dreams. Again, it notices the I thought, the conditioned I thought come up. Despite all this I principle is ever unconditioned. Why? Because it does not save the impressions, does not save the vasanas. In the absence of impressions, there is no room for any desires to come up. That is why you recognize that totality is desireless. It is unconditioned. It is non-dual. There is no subject-object there. This is the master key. This recognition in my Swapna Nidra Nyan Sadhana is the master key. You get it? Yeah. It is unconditioned. It is Vasna Rahit, means impressionless, which leads to desireless. Yes. And it is beyond happiness and beyond unhappiness, total bliss. That quiet witnessing, desireless, unconditioned, non-dual I principle, that is the master key to Nirvikalpa Samadhi. If so far your direct seeing of open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi is very clear for you, you will understand verse 6.2. Now, this sutra is the master key. Atmananda says that quietly witnessing the desireless, the unconditioned, the non-dual I principle, that is the real I. Yeah? The totality, the oneness, yeah? The no-two-ness. There is no English word like no to-ness. I'm just coining a word here. The no to-ness. Fix your attention there. Yeah. This is the most important part. Fix your attention there. Fixing attention there will establish you in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, open-eyed. You establish there. You will recognize that all the world stage continues, but it is all oneness. There is no subject, no object. There is no two-ness. The stage seems to populate with a perception of sight, perception of sound, perception of taste, perception of touch, perception of smell, thought, feeling, sensation. But I constantly remain untouched, unmoved by any of this. There'll be clear recognition that I have become free of the false, conditioned, embodied I. That embodied I is bound by its attachment. It's attached to something in the world. Yeah? Something, some object, some event, or some relationship. It's attached to something in the world, yet I am not attached. Recognizing this is like the jackpot. The embodied I is bound by its attachment, but I am free. When you see this in your open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that the real I, that is what I am, the I principle, that is what I am. Quietly witnessing, desireless, unconditioned, non-dual, no two-ness, no subject, no object. Total bliss, peace. You stay there with total attention. And when you are there with total attention, what will happen? What is the proof of your total attention? Right now, be passionately attentive towards the non-duality. Right now. You will see the idea of time vanishes, the idea of Ekta on the screen vanishes, the idea of the embodied I vanishes. Do you see this? It becomes a oneness. It doesn't have to become. It always was. I was simply ignoring it, really. Yeah? So my clue is everything, every perception, sensation, thought, or feeling explodes into the oneness, becomes one, merges with the oneness. There are no more waves. It is all one ocean. This is open-eyed Nirvikalpa Samadhi, or being the Jiva Sakshi, the title of the chapter, Jiva Sakshi, the witness of the Jiva. Establishing there, you become free. Is this very clear? Going forward, you give full attention to the oneness, to the non-duality, constantly. Fix your attention there. Take this as the only homework to do. Atmananda has given me this homework today. This is all I'm going to do. Complete attention to the totality, not to the perception of sight of the relationship. No, not to the perception of sound, not to individual arisings, to the totality. Yeah? Where the subject and object dissolves, that is my clue. Okay, I am in the totality. Where there is the straight line of desirelessness, no ups, no downs. That is my second clue. Yes, I am there. Yeah. When there is no happiness, no unhappiness. That is my third clue. There's simply knowingness. I know everything. It's not that I am dead corpse. No, there is a knowingness of the perception, sensation, thought, feeling, whatever is going on. But I am totally unconditioned, untouched by it. The embodied I's attachment might be there. The son, the father, the mother, the whatever, the colleague, the money, got nothing to do with me. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Yeah. Embodied I has a parent. I do not have a parent. The embodied I has a son or a daughter. I do not have a son or a daughter. The embodied I is a spouse. I am not the spouse. A clear seeing, moment to moment to moment. The embodied I has its attachments and its role to play. It is playing it. Got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Recognizing moment to moment I am unconditioned. The singleness. I am single, untouched. Yeah? You'll see every perception, sensation, thought, and feeling burst, explode. Like fireworks. Fireworks come up. Yeah, they're beautiful, very attractive. They try to pull you in. They want your full attention. But what happens? Do they last? They burst and explode, and what is left is the night sky. Atmananda is telling you, you focus on the night sky, not these fireworks. Yeah, these fireworks are pretty, red, blue, yellow. They try to attract you. You look beyond. That is my main homework this week. Fixing my attention there on the totality. Yeah. Let the embodied I do what it has to do. Do not expect the embodied I to come to the totality. Is it possible? No. This is the mistake a lot of people make. Oh, even the embodied I should try to. No, no, no. Let the embodied I, which is the mother, take care of the daughter, or the father take care of the son. They are having their little conversation or their argument. Let them continue. It's got nothing to do with me. This drama does not touch me. That recognition amidst the drama, I am that unconditioned, non-dual totality that is not touched by this drama. Very clear? Yeah? You focus your attention on that, the non-dual totality, the unconditioned being, the Jiva Sakshi, the I principle. Very clear? This chapter is clear.